In today's video, we're going back to our roots. I'm going to free form some thoughts for you about people who hate Vegas and the types of folks that should not move here under any circumstances, and folks who should not visit here because it's not good for their psyche. I'm Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I've lived in Vegas since 2004. I started doing videos in my car in the late winter, early spring of 2019. And since I don't have a lot of time, like a lot of you guys, I'm trying my best to make ends meet for the family and working. I decided to do this video here. No frills, just an overlay card and a subscribe at the end. So subscribe if you guys like this, or you've considered moving here, or you hate the city, but you love to look at it. So people go in and hate the city, but love to look at it. They get into the chats and they hate on Las Vegas. They say things like, what a you-know-what hole, what a garbage town, what a terrible place. I hate that place. I hope it disappears forever. There were these kinds of folks during the COVID shutdown that were convinced that that was the final death knell for the city of Las Vegas. Unfortunately for them, it didn't turn out to be that way, and they're still harboring some kind of resentment for it. So there's two types of folks. You have people who moved here and were not able to be successful here and think that it's a horrible place. I happen to disagree. I think that out of all the places in America, the song New York, New York says, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. I think Vegas falls into that category, but you have to try. And then you have those people who came here one time on vacation that hate it. So what kind of person shouldn't move to Vegas? Because there's a few types of people that shouldn't move to this town. If, for example, you have problems, you're on and off again with substance abuse, be it alcohol or other things that you shouldn't be doing for yourself because you can't help yourself and your brain chemistry doesn't allow you to stop once you start, this is probably a very terrible place for you, because the Strip brings all sorts of people that have all sorts of things that are not available to a store. And even if you're not into those things, the store has all sorts of things that are available to you in terms of alcohol and things such as this matter. And we also have the legalization of cannabis. And no, cannabis doesn't lead you down a darker path, I don't think. But for a lot of people, that can knock them off their butts and give them no success whatsoever either. So if you're one of those people, consider living in a state with, I think they're called blue state laws. Those are the types of laws where they lock up the liquor cabinets on particular days, some mostly Sundays, and you can't buy alcohol after 2 in the morning. There's a chain of places in town. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to be implicated for saying they do anything wrong, because they don't. They serve alcohol 24/7 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that kind of person is going to find themselves at a bar at 4 in the morning when they should be sleeping at home in bed. Old thing, old joke. No story that turns out, so I was at the bar at 2 a.m. No stories that starts that way generally has a good ending. So if that's you, maybe you want to stay away. And if you have problems with addiction, gambling is a big thing out here. Don't even start if you come out here if that's you. And don't think that you can beat it and mitigate it, because no matter where you go, you're going to find some kind of gaming. They're in 7-Elevens, they're in grocery stores, they're on the main strip, and they're in every local's hotel and most pubs around town as well, because that's part of the culture out here. But don't hate us for the culture that we have. Hate the brain that you got, or the reason, for whatever reason, you can't help yourself. Now, I hate the fact that I like food a whole lot, but I don't hate food in general, and I don't hate skinny people. I don't say the food is the problem. The problem is me. I eat too much when I'm stressed, so I don't have that food in my house, and when I go to the store, I try not to walk down those aisles. Use common sense. But what about those people who come here who don't like this place because they vacationed here? I think there's a whole separate slew of things on the other side for that kind of person. I think that everybody's experience is kind of dialed in, and they get that resultant reaction to things. So for example, when I was 23 years old, I was living in Tijuana, Mexico for a minute. And my uncle took me to a place, it was some big house party, and they had cognac. I drank cognac. I had not really been a drinker before that, and I'm certainly not a drinker at all now. The last drink I had was back in September with Derek Stevens. 1 rum and Coke. That was it. But I drank so much cognac that the next day I thought I was in serious trouble. I needed to go to the hospital or something like that. And to this date, I smell cognac, I get a churning in my stomach. I can't stand it. The worst part about COVID shutdown for a lot of people, I think, was that alcohol smell if they had problems with alcohol and sickness in the past. So if you have that response to Vegas, it could be that while you were out here in the past, maybe something really bad happened to you. Maybe, your wife broke up with you, or you had a family fight, or you had a traumatic experience that's anchoring those negative thoughts into your mind so much that you have a knee-jerk reaction that you pigeonhole and put the entire city into this small compartment and say that this is the worst place in the world. It's really not the worst place in the world. It also isn't a place that's full of chronic homeless people. We see them on live streams on the Strip, but I'm in this neighborhood in the west part of town and there's no homeless people hanging around. And I'm not in the rich part of the west part of town. I'm basically on the edge of that, but you can drive all the way up to within a block of the Strip and really not see homeless folks in encampments. But that's what we see on the live stream, so people think that's what Vegas is all about. So don't hold everything accountable for the lens that you carried into Vegas. Don't say the whole city is one way when it's certainly not. It's like Tony Robbins said once, if you go to a Christmas party with a video camera, this is a long time ago when video cameras were specialized things, you go there and you just video that one couple having a fight at the Christmas party and you show it to somebody else, they're going to say, what a horrible Christmas party. Everybody was fighting. But the reality was there was 200 people at the party, and just over there out of the way of the camera's viewpoint was some kids on Santa's lap and Toys for Tots and Marines collecting things. And hey, by the way, somebody made a $10,000 donation to Toys for Tots that night. So there was actually a good party going on, but your view of it was negative. And I think that's part of it as well. So ask yourself that question. Sad story, somebody on my live stream said once that they can't go to Fremont Street anymore because the last experience they had was with their late husband, and they had gone there every year since they were married for 50 years. I don't blame them. But if they come to Vegas, they say they go to the main Strip because they never traveled the Strip and they're able to take something out of it as well. And if you don't gamble and you think that it's something you don't want to do, just come here and find something to do. There's so many things that are going on, but there's no reason to hate on Vegas and drop into people's live streams and bomb them. And I'm happy when people do it and they don't get banned on my channel because I'm about freedom of speech. No hate speech and all that stuff, but I'm about freedom of speech, and I want people to share that opinion. Maybe we can change their opinion is the way I look at it, and maybe I can give them some information that they didn't already have so they can get that idea. Make sure you subscribe to this channel to get the live streams. I do them quite often while I'm out here, and we're also showing you guys the Strip and other videos in 4K and all these different cool things that we do out here. I have an HDR iPhone. I need to use that a little bit more. So if you are a certain type of person, just to summarize, don't come to the city. It's a bad place for you. There's other great places for you as well. Lots of places with opportunity. Phoenix, Arizona is a forever growing and huge metropolitan area. A lot of people do well in Florida. If you have problems with substance abuse and control, then you can mitigate that, but you got to do some kind of therapy and get yourself into a program. And there is ways to do it. I know people that are recovery people for 50 years that have great lives, but not maybe a place for you. And if you hate the city because you visited here and you have this preconception of what it's all about, maybe that was a situation that happened when you were in the city. It might not just be that that's the city, period, and that everybody's results are the exact same as yours. Because look around you in life. You always have people that are enjoying the situation for what it is. And so that's what I wanted to say in this video today. I've been a local since 2004, so I think I have a little bit of an allowance to talk about this stuff. But you tell me what you think of Vegas in the comments below. I appreciate you listening to me freeform like this, and hopefully I didn't bore you to death because all I have is the sound of my voice. And yeah, keep watching the videos, keep liking the videos. Appreciate you guys very much. I love you, sweet Caroline, out there in the Philippines, and I love everybody watching this video. And now's the time of the video where I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, click, okay? 3, 2, 1, and click!